growth, stimulates muscle development, supports hypothalamic response, aids in decreasing body fat, is an antioxidant in humans, helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels, is more well tolerated than any known L-arginine formula, helps boost energy, is rejuvenative to human beings, helps promote healthy sexual function and nitric oxide, is an adaptogen, and provides and stimulates the building blocks for humans to maintain growth hormone and anti-aging. Legal claims. And the press release issued to us that came out of the United States Patent Office was, after 20 years of research in L-arginine, Dr. Andy Allen, Chief of Biomedical Research at the Glycemic Research Institute in Washington, D.C., has been awarded a federal patent on her L-arginine composition. Dr. Allen's patent was awarded 13 claims related to the formula, including methods and compositions for the only low glycemic L-arginine formula, the only safe L-arginine formula for human beings, a method for stimulating immune response in any human or mammal, and a method for stimulating growth of muscle and reducing body fat in any human or mammal. The L-arginine formula has been used by thousands of persons since 1983 and is used by the National Football League, PGA, golf and PGA world record holders, Olympic teams, Mr. Universe, Mixed Galaxy, triathlons, world champion rowing team, Olympic marathon, IBFF, and NPSC. With the recent acceptance of L-arginine in the medical and scientific community, including the Nobel Prize in 2000, both the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical industries have jumped on the bandwagon to promote the use of L-arginine for anti-aging, as well as prevention and treatment of heart and cardiovascular disease. Dr. Allen's L-arginine formula has been used in humans longer than any other arginine product in the world. Its safety record over a 20-year period has upheld intense FDA and FTC scrutiny. Her L-arginine product has demonstrated that, counter to other arginine compositions, it does not reactivate the herpes simplex virus, a side effect related to oral ingestion of L-arginine. Dr. Allen's breakthrough discoveries in preparing L-arginine for oral use in humans includes a proprietary methodology that reduces and eliminates the side effects of L-arginine, including reactivation of the herpes simplex virus. So we are legally allowed, unlike any other arginine formula, to make those claims and to back them up. We have 750,000 scientific papers that were submitted to the Food and Drug Administration, as well as the patent and oral use of every human who had taken the product over a 20-year period. So I'd like to invite you out into the lobby to taste this product, which now tastes good. Sure, sure. That's what we're planning on doing. I've been invited to bring this product into Synergy, and like I said, it's like birthing a baby. It took 20 years, youch. But it's my life, and I want to make sure that I'm placing it in the right hands. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. The worst thing that could happen to me as a research scientist is for my product to end up in the wrong hands. That would be a travesty for me. What? What did you say? What? Oh, thank you. What we do is to provide clinical data to your physician on the use of L-arginine in cancer patients. So we have position papers on diabetes, on hypoglycemia, on various forms of disease, and we'd be happy to email or fax these protocol papers in terms of treating breast cancer or other cancers in the protocol for arginine. Free of charge. Right. Absolutely. I always get asked that question. You know, he wanted to know why in the heck ice cream isn't fattening and rice cakes are. Because what determines fat storage in humans is what stimulates fat storing mechanisms in humans. Ice cream doesn't stimulate fat storage. It doesn't go into the fat cell. So like I said, you have a list of foods that do stimulate fat storage, and they also cause diabetes, type 2 diabetes in humans by elevating blood glucose levels and insulin levels. So foods that elevate blood glucose and insulin levels cause diabetes, which is why we have the highest rate now, growing rate of diabetes. We used to think there was no such thing as diabetes type 2 in children, and now we're seeing for the first time in history diabetes type 2 in adolescents and children. Researchers used to think that was impossible. How could a child get type 2 diabetes? It's impossible. By increasing the size and the number of the fat cells. So when you eat rice cakes, it increases the size of the fat cell, and when those fat cells get big enough, they subdivide and subdivide and subdivide until you've got a huge mass of fat cells. And then trying to get those fat cells to shrink is almost impossible. With the 3 different body types that we have in humans, ectomorph, endomorph, and mesomorph. Mesomorph is Arnold, and endomorph is like olive oil, and an endomorph is the round body type, the fat. If an endomorph eats a lettuce leaf, it turns into fat because they have more fat storing proclivity than any other body type. So once you've gotten the fat cells this size, it's very difficult to get them back down. In an ectomorph, the little skinny body types, they're already like that. And a mesomorph, they're about middle, but an endomorph, they start out like that. So what we know about replication of fat cells is that the more high glycemic ingredients you eat, the bigger they get, they subdivide and they form clusters in the body. And they get bigger and bigger until they explode. And that's why it's so difficult to lose weight. And that's what the human body does as a mechanism to have us live longer, is after we're 23 and we shut down production of our natural growth hormone, then our fat cells start replicating and subdividing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Ugh. And our muscle mass decreases. How does fat get out of the body? By burning through the muscle mitochondria, little power plants in the muscle cells. And that's why bodybuilders that I work with eat 10,000 calories a day, and they hold 2 to 4% body fat. You can eat 10,000 calories a day if you have the muscle mass that burns the body fat. And that's what arginine does. It increases the burning, the thermogenesis of the fat cell. It is very inefficient to diet, very, very inefficient, because the first thing you lose is muscle mass, which decreases NK killer cell function. The first thing that happens on an Atkins diet, and I lectured with Dr. Atkins for 2 years with Newsweek magazine, and they purposely put me right next to him because they knew in 10 minutes I was going to turn to him and go, "Sir, you're an idiot." You know what's amazing though about Dr. Atkins? He did die of a heart attack. Now, that's not the amazing part. He was a dear man, but he was misguided. In the last 6 months of his life, he decided to switch over to our methodologies of low glycemic. And it's reflected in his books in the bookstores say, don't do high protein, do low glycemic. He finally got it at the end of his life. He finally got it. So to answer your question about ice cream doesn't stimulate the fat cell to increase. Neither does a hot fudge sundae, neither does pound cake or angel food cake. Pasta does not, rice does. Bread does, sweet potatoes don't. Regular potato stimulates fat storage, sweet potato doesn't. It's all to do with human fat storing enzymes and mechanisms. But how can you possibly make this thing work, this plant that you live in, if you don't know the rules of the game? How can you make it do what you want it to do if you don't know how? It's my job to figure out how and then to tell you how. So we will adjourn now, and I will see you out in the lobby for the taste testing. Thank you very much.